Hey there everyone, Lord Rigid here with another episode of Aether Raid's Offense. Today's video covers the light season that concluded yesterday, so I am a little late on this. Actually, I was about to say that this video is the first time Dagger appears in my raiding party, but that's not actually true. She showed up in my mock battles video over the weekend. So, I don't know, I guess I don't really have much to say beyond that, so let's go ahead and get into today's matches. The first map is a return trap setup. It looks like the idea here is that Bernadetta deals damage to Sigurd, Leaf, Sothis, and Sarah, and then Sarah will use return on Leaf, extending his threat range quite considerably on the right-hand side. I will note that this isn't a particularly threatening return trap, since the most effective way to approach this map is definitely to go up the left-hand side and bait from over the wall of structures while being able to put basically as many support units as you want to help your unit survive the onslaught. So that is my observation. Let's go ahead and get into my approach. I'm going to go ahead and send in the Cedar raiding party for this battle. Dagger and Air both boost res, which means that Sita is going to have absolutely no trouble tanking here. I'm actually going to be kicking things off with a bit of Pathfinder action, so that's pretty fun. I'm going to have Dagger break the Fae statue, and then I will break the street lamp, with Asura, sorry, and then have Sita take out the coffin, and then have Peony refresh Dagger, all the while making my way up the left-hand side. I will kick things off by having Sita parked right in front of Sothis. In the meantime, I'm actually going to take advantage of Milla being a bonus unit to isolate the Sarah, stopping her from using return on Leaf. And let me look at this. I don't think there's any way for me to get Peony into position for an initiation next turn, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, it's alright, I'll work with it. I think there's definitely enough time for an 8 turn on this. I think it would probably be fine for a 7 turn as well, honestly. Now let me move Milla over to isolate the Triandra for next turn. And then I'll move Air over here. She will be repositioning Milla on the next turn to get her in range, to help get her in range, rather, of Sita to provide those Nurturing Breath bonuses. So let me move Sita over here and get a refresh from Peony, so more Pathfinder action, huzzah! And then, should I just attack the Sothis? Yeah, let's do it. She's going to take 10 damage from the Wrath, but the enemies don't threaten her, really, so I don't think that's an issue. So, I guess Sigurd and Leaf should be dealing damage, but outside of that, the enemies don't have a whole lot to, they can't do a whole lot here. I'm gonna go ahead and move Milla 1 space up. That puts Sita just in range of the Nurturing Breath bonuses, and I can hit end turn. So I should see an attack out of Sarah to kick things off since, okay, there we go. Rally from Bernadetta. I am actually unused to Bernadetta doing that. I guess my experience has been in Astra season, where I will often use Idun to tank her, and she still takes enough damage, or more than 5 damage, enough to prevent the rally. I guess without her solos, that harmed her damage potential. Anyway, at that end, just Sita's raw res stat, I believe, is actually higher than Idune's or Spring Idune's. So she is able to tank everyone except for the Bernadetta. That's perfectly fine. I can have the Gale Force through the Bernadetta now. And then I will leave Sarah alive so I can grab the Aether structures. Where do I want to put Sita here? I think I actually want to put her in between Sarah and the catapult. That will block the spaces behind Sita off from Sarah's range. Yes. And then I can just move the rest of my units upward. I don't think I'm going to need them, but who knows, really. Okay, so Sarah moves up into the corner to attack Sita. As expected, AI prefers quote-unquote safer spaces, and that is what it determines. It prioritizes that space over the one Sita just broke that structure from. I'll refresh Sita here, and Dagger had Pathfinder, even Tempest. Oh well, whatever. The second map is a fun little savior setup with the Teleus theme going on. Well, I say fun and little, but every unit on this map is fully merged, so there is a bit of an artificial difficulty factor introduced in that regard. As far as weaknesses, I would say that one of them is definitely the fact that the Black Knight is not exactly the world's greatest AR farsave user. His res stat is still pretty bad. A strong colorless red or blue unit that hits his res stat should be able to take him out relatively easily. The real worry is the Altinas, who are very bulky, and if you attack them, they will hit you back with the twin blades unless you block their special charge, which could prove problematic. I would say that your best bet is probably to place a strong tank in one of these two spaces. They will draw attacks from one Altina, one Yoon, and George, and the rest of the enemies will just meaninglessly advance because they don't have any refresh power to back them up. So, yeah, I hope you have a strong tank, and as long as you do, this should actually not be too bad of a map to deal with. Neither of these Altinas kept their null C disrupt, so I'm going to actually send in the Elise raiding party. So let me go ahead and just move stuff around. I will be doing a turn to initiation. Elise will be able to obliterate the Black Knight, and from there I can just respond to however the enemy chooses to move because they don't have any refresh power to back them up. Let me go ahead and wait for the next turn here. So Elise should be able to just take out the Black Knight exactly as I was expecting. And then I can give her a refresh from Peony, and then we'll have to see what that matchup against Altina looks like. If it's super favorable, I'll go ahead and just attack her, but otherwise, I think I'll have Elise just retreat. So let's take a look here. We have... Oh, she actually hits pretty hard, but nah, I don't think I can do this. Let me go ahead and just break some stuff, and then we will wait for the enemy phase to conclude before we proceed here. So, let's see. Unfortunately, I didn't get Gentle Dream bonus onto air, but that's fine. So the enemies will advance. Okay. And then, let's take a look. How do I want to do this? Okay. Can't take out the Altina because I don't have solos. And Altina obliterates Azura. That's annoying. Let's start by taking out the George, I think. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and take some thinking time. The fact that Elise doesn't have her solos means that she can't take out the Altina, which is really annoying, so I'll have to figure out what I want to do with this.
Good morning.
Unfortunate. So as it turns out, with George out of the picture and Elise applying her staff's penalties to Altina, Azura can actually survive a round of combat with her, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I was initially thinking that I would have Azura take on the Yoon, but it turns out that Yoon has Lance Breaker, which is really annoying. So I'm going to have Elise take her out instead. It's a one-round KO, which, I mean, it doesn't really matter. If she had needed another round of combat, I could have just refreshed with Azura, because Gale Force refreshers are cool like that. On the enemy phase, the rest of the enemies will advance. So I'm going to actually take this opportunity to grab the Aether structures. And we will have to see how the enemy team responds here. Altina is going straight down, and she gets shoved by Yoon, so no more. I can't apply gravity to both of them by just attacking one. So Elise is actually able to take out the Yoon, and I'm thinking maybe she can even take on this Altina now that she can attack while having her solo skills active. So let's go ahead and give her a quick refresh from Peony, make sure she gets her solos active, and... Oh, nope, wrong space. Ah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. And that is it. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Aether Raid's Offense. I also hope to see you again next week for another episode covering the Astra season that is going on now. I actually do have a new team for Astra season now that I think about it, but I'm rather hoping I don't have to deploy it. I'm actually actively trying to deploy that one as little as possible, kind of for the same reason as I try not to deploy my triple armor tank triumvirate team in light season. It's just overkill in a lot of situations. So, regardless of what happens, I thank you all so very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.